It's like you come here, we're equals. You're a president of a party, you're a president of a party. It doesn't matter how big your party is. Your ideas are what we're interested in. And for me, that's what's going to change this country. It's the ideas that's going to better Zambia. I observed. And I was lucky because in one of the meetings, it was at a time when there was a postmortem over Kawambwa and also the discussion for Kambashe and Petauke in terms of picking candidates. I've been in that role before because I was running elections in PA. So now I watched. I wanted to see how that game is being played, and I listened. When you're an observer, you don't talk. You watch. So I watched, yeah, okay, one or two little mistakes, but the whole organization looked solid. But the other thing also is, when you're able to break bread, you're able to have lunch with people. In Africa, it's a big deal. Umuntu ngakunailo world, and you're able to share a meal. Come on, you're an African.
Right. But, Mr. President, would you have made the decision to join the alliance if the former head of state did not engage you to discuss certain issues?
That's a hard question. But if it was to put Zambia first, yes. But I would have still wanted a private moment so that certain things from the past are resolved. You know, you don't need to get into an alliance or into a political bed with somebody when you've got issues unresolved. I don't believe it. If I am going to engage, I give my 100%. So once that was clear, I'm good to go. Yeah.
All right, allow us to open our phone line this morning. Now, dear viewer, the number that you are calling us on this morning to be part of the conversation is 0770813728. That is the number that you'll be dialing to be part of the conversation. Do remember that we're also streaming this program live on our Facebook page. We are Millennium TV Zambia. Do leave us a comment in our comment section and be part of the conversation. Mr. Kelvin Uwe-Walia, popularly known as KBF, Zambia Must Prosper Party President, joins me on set as we talk about his decision to join the Tonse Alliance. Now, Mr. President, another question. Maybe let us talk about the plans, because you've spoken about being in meetings where Tonse leaders have convened and to discuss certain issues. What plans does the Tonse Alliance have for the Zambian people? Maybe before you respond, allow me to pick this call.
Okay.
Hello, good morning.
My sister, good morning.
Good morning. Your names and where you're calling us from?
Good morning, sir. Mulishani.
This is Comrade Mukosa.
Yes, comrade.
I just want to remind my brother there that the Tonse group he joined is not new to him, because these are the same people that he was with before he pretended to support the RNH 2 months before elections in 2021. These are the same people that he was with. And for his own information, maybe him, because he was not there in 2021, they did not support YDR. All of these, apart from Sean Tembo, all of those other party, so-called Nasaraneka party leaders, they are YDR. So there is nothing new. Even if you are saying United Front, there is nothing new. You are going to be butchered terribly, because Zambians cannot allow themselves to go back the type of psychiatry, type of governance that we had, where even along when he came back, the only reason he said he's coming back, he was pretending to say he's coming back to defend PF or to protect PF. How do you protect something? Chipani chamene munapasiwa mumanja chiri mupower. You failed to run it, to handle it while it was in power, to the extent that it was voted out. Then when it is voted out, that's when you say, no, I want to protect. What are you protecting? The second reason that you are going to That's why he came back. He wanted to defend his family and his friends because he felt in the political arena there is no one who can defend him. Meaning he wants to use politics to defend his alleged criminality while he was in power with his friends. Which is very unfortunate that a person like my KBF can say...
Comrade Mukosa, will ask you to wind up on your point.
As I'm winding up, it is very embarrassing and very disappointing that your KBF can say, no, I want to join Tonze, when the agenda of Tonze is just to protect PF and to make sure that those who stop from Zambians, once if the devil is going to allow them to come back, they will be pardoned, and those properties that have been forfeited to the state, they will be given.
All right, thank you so much for coming through. 0770813728 is the number that you're dialing this morning to join us on the platform. You can also catch us live on our Facebook page at Millennium TV Zambia. Good morning. Please reduce the volume on your TV. Fine, thank you. Your names and where you're calling us from? Yes, Mr. Mvula. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Kabwe.
You can go ahead with the contribution or question.
I just wanted to answer the first caller. You know, these are the people who have taken us down. Because how would you start a place when you know that the country is going down each and every time? And from his accent, you can tell that he's from the other region. So, today when many articles are done, you're supposed to analyze politics in action, the way we are moving. We are not moving the way this government promised us. We are going down each and every time. Economically, everything is in shadow. So he's not supposed to come on TV and start blaming the president KBF.
Once I attended a meeting which was the Mukitwa UPND secretariat there, where you said that Mwaisa Mufipasa Ifya PF about the corruption which was going on in PF, where you even promised the youths in Kitwe and in Dola who attended that meeting that you are going to give 10,000 kwacha, which you never even fulfilled. You said that you are going to work along with HH because you've seen the vision which HH had carried. To make matters worse, to make things easier, UPND scoped the 2021 elections. HH became a president. Whilst you were KBF, you had a lot of issues with the PF, with the people of Zambia, the corruption, the things which were not the why she ever green in UPND, which made HH and the UPND party failed to give you any couple of inches of UPND because when she ever lamba. Today, KBF, you are saying that UPND and the HH, but lamba. Why are you saying that? Because you said that PF is just the same as you people. You're not giving us good directions as youths in this country. Fredman, Shoni Tempo, all of you who are condemning today UPND, you said bad things about PF. And even the president, the former president, Mr. Edgar Jagwamungu, you said bad things about. Now, why today you're going to turn around and support the bad things?
Mr. Lucas, I will ask you to wind up.
Yes, ma'am, to wind up. You said bad things about PF, and today you want to start dealing with those people. Where are you letting us to as youths?
All right, thank you so much for coming through, Mr. Lucas. 07708137. Yes, Mr. Mukosa.
Mukosa, your disappointment in me and also Valu Kwesa, that is appreciated, and I like people when they're disappointed in me, politically, because it means that they've got a different opinion. In politics, you must always respect the opinion of another person. That is how democracy is. That, like the Godfather, the dribbler, like Chilwa used to say, that's the beauty of democracy. You allow people to talk. But let me answer the question because it became a bit personal, and you mentioned the meeting I had attended in KBF. Well, yes, when I joined the UPND Alliance that time to help other in the HLM get into power, I did come to KBF. 10,000 Kwasha Moyelanda. When I came for the meeting, I gave it to Matambo. Ngari Mirila Luenu. I gave it to Matambo. They were bound to go to Wanyama that day, and they didn't even have water for secretariat. I had to buy them food. I gave Matambo this money. That time, this party was broke. They were not receiving any money from Lusaka. I was using my money. I never asked money from other individuals. That I can challenge them. Never was I given even one way. Every motor vehicle I used was my vehicle. Every money that I spent to help other individuals was my money, personal money. So, get your facts right. If Matambo and his provincial committee at the time took this money, which I gave them, and they misused it, they didn't give you. Don't lie to the people that I never gave. This money was not meant for you, it was meant for the operation of the party. Who was in charge of the province? Matambo. That's the man I gave the money. When I addressed you outside, if you remember, with the provincial committee, was I going to be giving money per one? I went and gave the officials the money. Matambo was given this money. Did you ever see him complain? No. So don't come here and say I made a promise and I didn't give. I usually keep my promises. Especially when I make it public. I keep my promises. So this one I wanted to correct because we will finish quiet. Secondly, question. You come and say myself, Sean Tembo and Membe, etc., should not have an opinion on your president that I engage him. I'm sorry. Sean Tembo and Fred Membe are not here to defend themselves. I'll not speak for them. But I am here to defend myself. So let me answer Mukosa and yourself now. Just as I saw problems in PF, I have seen problems in UPND. There's nothing wrong with being analytical. When you see a problem, you've got to face that. But secondly, you, by UPND, you're making it seem like I am here to defend PF. I am not here to defend PF. Let's get that right. This is a mistake you're going to make. And in the campaign, I am a president of a political party called Zambia Must Prosper. I am the president of a political party which has joined Tonse. So for me, as a political party, we have joined Tonse Alliance. We have not joined PF. So don't commit a logical fallacy or a straw man's fallacy. You put up an argument and you think I'm going back to PF. Who told you I'm going back to PF? Mungulu. Mulewako analytical. Huh? I am here to say I have joined Tonse. I haven't joined PF. Now, if PF is part of Tonse, so be it. What's wrong with that? And in any case, when I joined UPND, you think your president was as clean as you pretend. No, I know this guy. He's my friend. Things I know about that are into this Mukwesa and this Mukwesa, I don't know. I keep saying to people, Munandi, I'm not going to fight him at a personal level. I'm going to fight him politically. And that must be taken for what it is. Our difference, my difference with Aga Ndeichilema is political, not at a friendship level. If I ask Lukwas, if he knew Aga Ndeichilema 40 years ago, he would say, no, me, I'm telling you, I know him. If he knew things about Aga Inde, which he never knew, what he was doing at UNZA and what he was studying, I knew. He didn't know. The people that we have known as friends, he didn't know. I know them. So when I say I know somebody, I'm sorry, Bamukosa. You want to condemn the ECL and say you're disappointed in me, please keep your opinion to yourself. I will respect your opinion and I will tick the boxes. But here's my question. Why is it that you people don't want to see what the economy is looking like today? All you want to talk about is we can't go back to PF. Okay, we're not going back to PF. But we're going through Tonzi. What do you have against Tonzi? That's the question. What is it with Tonzi? You say the people that are in Tonzi are the same people that supported Mumi that time. So what? Birds of a feather flock together.
Right.
Non-jalapation is very important because in politics, people understand each other differently. You want me to go and sleep with the devil? Abantu won't judge. No. I'll go and play with the people that I know. I'll go back to familiar territory. Why? Because that is what makes me comfortable. And I know they will not stab me in the back. So why am I going to be dealing with people who I know I cannot trust and they don't trust me? Should I use those words now? Because people in UPND like pretending. They were using me, but they didn't trust me. I got this information. One of the problems, Lukwesa, let me tell you, Mukosa, let me tell you, one of the problems your president, my friend, Aga Ndechilem, had with me is that he believed that he won the 2016 election, but for KBF. He believed I dribbled him because I defended the vote for ECL to win in 2016. He's never forgiven me for that. That's the problem we have here. Now, when you get that information and you're told your friend doesn't trust you because of this, you want me to stay with the person who I know doesn't trust me. So it's not about damn Belen Chito. I was given a job, I refused because I knew this guy doesn't trust me. Now, in politics, when a person doesn't trust you, even when he offers you a piece of bread, don't eat it. That's what I did. He offered me a job knowing very well the plan is a few months down the line, he wants to come and dismiss me so that he embarrasses me. I refused that job because I knew what the plans were. So there are things we know. From a distance, you judge. Padia, I'm the one who's going to be embarrassed. And he's president now. So when a president cracks his whip and dismisses you from a job, do you know what people think? It takes longer for you to rebuild, so you better walk away with your integrity than have him enjoy dismissing you. That's why I rejected his offer.
At what point did you receive the information that the head of state did not trust you?
You know, in politics, and let me say this to the Zambians, you must be very careful what you say and how you say it. Some of the people at Community House who are friends to other in the incident are also friends with me. So they told me. So I should just be going blindly. When someone tells you, but boss, me, I'm just whispering. Do you know what your friend says about you when you're not here? Then you think, oh, okay. So I'm here to help him. Meanwhile, he's got this dagger, drone, ready to strike. Why am I going to stay? For what? So when I knew that, I realized, okay, my elections here after this, in the piano, so when you see that, we sure that you know, bora ya take, talasala pukapaku.
So, makamente na pali 17 para pay.
Alright, umilama umuntu adodela. Alright, thank you so much. Alright, I think I'll give our callers, just maybe 2 more calls, and then we'll conclude with our calls this morning. Hello?
Yes, I'm actually one of the youths who graduated and lined up to vote for this government, promising that they'll create jobs for us.
Mm-hmm.
They promised to create over 1 million jobs in their 5-year term. We've clocked 4 years, not even 100,000 ratification. And if you actually look at the recruitment that has been happening, some of us are qualified teachers, very qualified teachers, but their own audit reports showed us that 50% of the teachers who were recruited do not even have grade 12 certificates. What happens to those of us who actually took the hard time to study to get jobs? What kind of quality of education are they expecting to give in? Even if it's free, that free education should be something of value. You need qualified teachers, not people who don't even have grade 12 certificates. We've read your manifesto. We've seen what plans and programs you have for the education sector. We can see that these people literally just copied and pasted without understanding any of what they were actually trying to do. If we refer to consideration, we know the plans you have for the education sector. To make consideration, Mr. President, keep fighting, and I hope and pray that we don't see alliance by the and I hope and pray that we as our president to run for 2026, because I believe you are the man who can take down this Goliath who has become very stubborn and arrogant, and who wants to deceive his way and cheat his way into staying in power.
Thank you so much, Joseph.
Some of them were comments, so I'll go to the questions. There was a Brian who said that he asked if I was a lawyer.
Yes.
And then I spoke about the eligibility of ECL. But Brian, sometimes we as Zambians want to dwell in the past too much, and that's why we never make progress. The eligibility matter over our former president, Edgar Lungu, has been decided by the Constitutional Court. I don't know what else you want me to say over this issue. Okay? I may have had an opinion previously. I may have held an opinion 2-3 years ago. What will that do right now? Why are we going to be discussing that? And how will that change the price of bread? Let's be logical. And when someone comes on a program such as this, now at Twitter, Millennium and everything, let's be current. I think the issue here is the Tonse Alliance and why Zambia Must Prosper joined the Tonse Alliance. Don't bring in the ECL and begin to bash him and begin to... He's not here to defend himself. The eligibility case is done and dusted. Okay? Whatever the UPND did to get the intended goal or receive the intended judgment, that's in the past. So let's forget about that. And mind you, I did say here that I had very hard, difficult questions to discuss with my older brother, the former president. Okay, this is an issue for him, which is a non-issue now. I want to tell you, it's a non-issue. Eligibility for ECO right now is a non-issue. He's over this. So that's why he says he's got plan B. Okay, so don't be scared. Mwatano muntu wali aiba toke na lali ya kandolo. Mwaiba tinga kandolo yekuisa. He's got kandolo na ishoko kandolo ili. That's his plan B. So leave him. Don't fight by ECO. This is a problem. Anybody wants to come and ask a question here. First of all, if I am ECO, I am PF, I'm not here to represent the PF or ECO. I'm here to represent my political party and the alliance. So if we can stick to that, I'll be very grateful. Not what I'm quite. But on Chavi Pafemayo, that you're looking after your elderly mother and you're suffering still, Maresa Potech Pani, nothing is happening. It's difficult. this poverty is everywhere. Vamwila na totela sana, because your reasoning was basically my reasoning, and in answer to if we try push Boyd on the issues of trust, is exactly the way I wanted to put it. You see, in politics, there are no permanent friends and there are no permanent enemies. So the fact that I went and helped Daga and Ichilema and UPND in 2021 does not necessarily mean that I should cling to them. Nanguvale Rufianya, and they're inflicting poverty, pain, and suffering on the Zambians. I'll be a fool. So umuntu nga wamusapota, wamvika pachambaso, and then he changes and becomes something else, and he abuses the power that you've given him. Njika ende supporter, so that the Zambians can look at me as a fool. I'm not that kind of person. No. We must be able to call a spade a spade. The current president, Hakainde Hichilema, has messed up this country. The things that he said he would do, he has failed to do. The international business connections that he said he had, he doesn't have. We haven't seen any investment come here worth talking about. He said he had friends who could help invest in this country. That's what he said to me. I met him 11 times privately at his home and other places. Those are the lies he told me. What has he done? Nothing. Njikare, Pandveni president. No, I would rather Namkuya Kalundwe, Ukujande Lore Shisa. That's the way we think. And if you and other people think you can just be waiting for nothing, please wait. Nami Papa, our praise sing about UPND. Keep waiting. But I will tell you this for nothing. The majority of the Zambians out there, just like numbers, the majority of the Zambians out there have already made up their mind, whether you like it or not. Maybe that's what's hurting you. But on the question of trust, boy, let me say this. I was very clear and emphatic. I may not go into details as to what I discussed with the ECL in private and in confidence. But these are some of the questions we faced up with each other. You don't sit with a person for 3 hours. We were talking, okay? We had hard questions to ask each other. He asked, I asked, he answered, I answered, and this is what made me comfortable. And why are you worried about trust now anyway? There's no issues about trust between me and Navraisio at a personal level. And within Tonse, I trust the members in Tonse. Because for me, they've shown that they are liberal, their approach to life and politics is open-minded, and they've shown that they are willing to listen and interact and receive ideas from anybody, no matter how small the political party is. So long as you sit on the Tonse table, they will give you a hearing. Now, you didn't get that when I was in the UPND alliance. No. I also sat at that table. I saw the pressures. I saw the problems. And I realized, no, there are problems here. So for me, I think let's just move on. Tonse is here as a vehicle to help the Zambians be liberated. And if that is what is hurting the UPND, that I have actually shifted allegiance to Tonse, I'm sorry. Because I can't apologize for being right. I think what we've done is what the Zambians wanted. What we are doing is what the Zambians have been looking forward to. And this is what the Zambians expected us to be and do as reasonable people and those that believe in the truth and the emancipation of this country. UPND has let us down, and that's the end of the story. Lastly, Patrick Sampakumkushi, Ramwila, and Joseph, the graduate, I'm just sorry that Murechi Ulamani and Amachushi, obviously you know who's responsible now. And this is perhaps the other problem that you we have a problem with UPND because to them everything has to go back to PF. Everything has to go back to PF. You wanted this job. Wapanga application. Nakuchita accept awena Zambia. Inchitwe. You otafile umba wino because you are no. The reason why you wanted this job is you knew what the problems were. Opposition. Over 20 years. Finish mwale tonton kanya. Finish mwale plan na. What future plans did you have for this country? This is why I keep saying, for me, the only thing that Aga in the Ichilema wanted was to be president. As part of his CV. Yes, now he has qualified to be president. But what solutions has he brought for Zambians? Nothing. At a personal level, he has elevated himself. But for the Zambians, nothing. And this is what the praise singers, UPND, must realize. He used everybody as a stepping stone to get where he wanted to be. That's all. So let's not fool each other that Aga in the Ichilima means well for this country. It doesn't. No, my sister, it doesn't.
All right, Mr. President, before we started picking our calls, I did pose a question as to what plans the Tonse Alliance have for the Zambian people, just to better the lives of the Zambian people. Obviously, you've alluded to the fact that Zambia's economy is dwindling, and this is an issue that most of the opposition leaders have alluded to. But what are the plans, to really redeem Zambia from its current economic status?
Thank you. A very important question. The first thing is there's a consolidated manifesto which is being worked on, which has picked ideas from the various political parties. The various experiences that the political parties have been put down on paper, being discussed and polished, and that will be announced to the Zambians. So there's a manifesto. The reason why a manifesto is important at any given time is the manifesto is your selling point, your social contract with the Zambians is based on your manifesto. What are you going to bring? What are you going to say? Not the lies that UPND came. That's the problem. In fact, I don't know whether you journalists or not have asked this question. We should want to have a manifesto about UPND. Don't answer. Just go and investigate. Do some investigative journalism. But they keep talking about it, okay? But we want a manifesto which is polished. So that's one thing. I want to assure the Zambians that we're putting our heads together. Our ideas are going to come up with a better manifesto which we are going to push as an agenda. And this manifesto is going to obviously look at, one, infrastructure. It's going to look at how we solve the electricity problem. It's going to look at how we improve our agriculture, improve our energy sector, improve our mining sector, and change a few things that are required to suit the Zambians and protect ourselves. If you've seen, there's a protectionist tendency that is coming in across the world. We need to protect some industries and we need to look after those industries because we can't have everything privatized, which is basically what the UPND are doing. The UPND are businessmen. Half of them are businessmen. They're not real politicians, they're businessmen. So we want to come and take back what we believe to be pro-poor politics. For the poor, to look after Avalanda, Chula, and that's what I'm promising the Zambians. And with the experience that the PF has been through since they were in leadership before, that is going to have an improved vision. Because you can't keep doing the wrong things all the time. One of the greatest weaknesses that the UPND suffered was they were never, ever with experienced people. Most of the UPND ministers didn't have the experience. Most of the people that were appointed, just to show that, not to attack or something. Yeah. And this is a problem you find with most of the people. You find the president rushing to Mungushi Conference Center when he goes in his usual lectures. No, nothing is working. Nothing is working because the civil servants will tell you, if you're we don't do it this way. We've got policies, regulations, and procedures that we follow. They want to come with that attitude, I'm the boss, do it this way. Civil servant, he will tell you, no boss, if you want me to do this, kamemo. And what regulation am I using to do what you want me to do? That's what's hitting Againde hard. Because it's come with the mentality, I want to bulldoze, I want things to work. Tafia Wombe, if you don't follow the procedure, if you do not respect the civil service, because the civil servants don't want to do anything wrong. They've been running systems, and those systems are stuck, because that's how government rolls. Now, if you don't appreciate that, and you don't understand that, as a politician, you're going to fail. So it's not so much that civil servants don't want to work. They are being asked to do the wrong things. They are resisting. Secondly, you don't come because people are refusing and they're telling you, do the right thing, do this, use that regulation, use that thing. Oh, this one doesn't want to work with me. Mfunyeni po. Tuwike po, umbi. No, even the juniors will come and say, boss, but the reason why is because of akaka regulation. So even the new guy now is stuck. So why did you remove the other guy? So this is about just discrimination, segregation. I'm sorry to say, sometimes giving the perception of tribalism. And I'm saying I'm sorry because that's the perception the Zambians are getting. That people are being removed out of office simply because they are resisting and because they come from a certain area. It's not because they come from a certain area. They want to follow the procedures, the regulations, the systems. Government, if anybody understands government, government works on systems. It doesn't matter whether Tonse comes into power tomorrow. We have to follow the government regulations, government systems. That is how the government works. If you want to come and change those systems without changing the law, the civil servants will resist.
As we come to the end of our discussion, Mr. President, allow me to just quote, you were quoted in the Mass newspaper this morning. Yesterday you featured on Diamond TV's breakfast show, and you were quoted saying that President